What is up, you guys? This is all day in day one on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you another Tera guide video for the PS4 and the Xbox One. So this video is going to be the Mystic build video. I'm going to be showing you the stats you want to focus on with your gear and the abilities you're going to want to have on your loadouts. So the first things first is we're going to go ahead and take a look at the gear and the abilities. So I don't necessarily have all the right items, like all my accessories are not right, but I can tell you which ones you're going to want to focus on. So for the weapon, the 3 stats you want to reroll, or 4 stats you want to reroll, are going to be the primary. So I'm going to actually go ahead and go to effect reset. So you have a attack speed increase, skill cooldown, healing skills, and crit factor. Those are the 4 stats you're going to want to go for. So you can get on the first one, the way you switch these out is you're going to have the spellbinds, and you need to have enigmatic scrolls and identification scrolls. And then if you want to lock specific skills, you can just lock them like this, and then you'll be able to use your spellbinds and whatnot, and then you'll be able to reroll and keep what you want. But those are going to be the stats you're going to want to have. 9%. You want to have that attack speed, skill cooldown, healing skills, and crit factor on your weapon. And then for the robes, I put the teleport jaunt by 7%, or the skill cooldown teleport jaunt by 7%, because being able to teleport is going to be super good for a healer. Because, I mean, even though it's 7%, it might not sound like a lot, and it really isn't, but even 0.5, 0.3 seconds is going to make a difference of being in the red and being out of the red. So that's why I went with teleport jaunt. But the other stats you can go with would be things like replenish 100 MP when you use Meyer skill, showers less, decreases the cooldown by 10%, and Vow of Rebirth gives you 175 MP, Metamorphic increases damage by 17%, Volley curses, duration it lasts for 15%, so on and so on. But honestly, I don't think any of those really matter too much, other than I'd say Shower's Lash and Teleport Jaunt are the only 2 that I would go with for this one. And then for everything else, I went with damage, or decreases damage taken by 6%, max HP increased by 8%. I would re-roll this enraged monsters by 10% with something else like frontal damage decrease, or healing skills affecting you increases by 6%. But I mean, I wouldn't worry about the healing skill one because you can heal yourself at any time. But I would replace this one with either the knockdown damage reduction or frontal damage reduction. Enraged damage reduction is also really nice because when a boss is enraged, they will do a lot of damage. And then for the boots, I have replenishes 2% of total MP every 5 seconds. This one doesn't really matter to me too much though. I'd rather go with like the +4 endurance. But mainly because I have the Nostrum from Elite status, so I hardly ever run out of mana. But if you don't have the Elite status, this might actually be really good for you. Increases endurance by 4, and increases movement by 6%. And then the next one would be... Alright. So the next one would be the gloves. So with the gloves, I got crit factor, healing skills increased, and attack speed. So the reason why you want to have attack speed is because your animations and charging and everything is based off of your attack speed. If you have low attack speed, you're not going to be healing as fast, or you're not going to be able to move around as fast because your attack speed is low. Movement itself is movement speed, but when you're using a healing ability, you're going to be stuck in one spot because your attack speed is too slow. So that's why I would highly recommend trying to get the attack speed. Healing skills, obviously, because you're going to be healing a lot, and then crit factor, because your heals can hit crits. So all 3 of these stats are what you're going to want to try to get. Now for the belt, I went with this belt I ended up picking up, but it gives me crit factor on both. And you cannot re-roll these belts. Well, actually, no, you can. You have to unequip them. So when you're trying to re-roll, you just hit triangle, enchantment effect change, and then you have to use the semi-enigmatic scrolls. So when you do that, like I said, you have to unequip the item, and then you can do that. But I would highly recommend going with crit factor on your belts, because it's going to be a lot better for your heals. You're going to be healing so much higher. And then obviously you have the inner armor that you just get from being level 65. So for the rings, I would not go with Estate Guest ring. Do not go with this one because this is the power ring. I accidentally picked this one up or no, I didn't pick it up. I accidentally bought this one with my Inner Sea tokens. But this is the one you want to get, is the Manor Guest ring. The Manor Guest ring gives you 26 crit factor, and then you want to try to re-roll it so you can get the healing skills by 256, and then possibly another crit factor if you can. I don't think you can get another crit factor, I'm not sure. But you can either get with healing skills 256 and another set of healing skills. You can get 2 healing skills on your accessories. And then the next one is the earrings. So again, I ended up getting Estate Guest earring, so I messed that one up. And then Manor Guest earring is the one you want to get. So you get the 256 healing and then extra crit factor, and then I got endurance on it. But the crit or the sets, the gear set you're gonna get down here, if you have all of the 5 pieces, you're gonna get crit factor, attack speed by 4%, endurance by 4, and crit factor by 6. With the Estate Guest, you're gonna get power instead. Everything's the same except it's not crit. It's gonna be power. You don't want to get power. Power doesn't do anything for you except increases your attack damage or your abilities of damage. And then for my necklace, again, you don't want to go with Estate, you want to go with Manor. So you can get the Manor necklace from doing Vault of Caprima, but right now Vault of Caprima is so laggy, and it's just so, I mean, you can still run it. It's a really easy dungeon to run, but it's a very laggy dungeon. And then the brooch I'm using is the simple quick carve brooch, because it gives 4 and 6 crit factor, and then I got 1.5% HP. So what would be nice is if I could re-roll that HP for more crit factor, but I'm fine with having that HP. And now for the gems that I have on them. So for all these gems, I have Fine Swift Crux, Fine Brilliant Crux, Fine Hunter's Neviat, and Fine Brilliant Neviat. So I'm not worried about this one. I just ended up putting it on because I had an extra gem slot because I forgot to put my Crystal Bind on. But the movement speed while in combat is going to be super useful because you're going to be running pretty slow. So having that extra movement speed is going to definitely help out. And then I have more mana regen. So like if you're not EMP or elite status again, this would help you out a lot. And then I have this for some reason. So you want to definitely get crit factor increase. You want the crit chance increase. You do not want to worry about getting the normal damage to normal monsters by 8%. You want to get the crit factor. Everything else is fine. And then for the gear, I have, oh whoops, not enchant. I meant to go to equip. So I have Fine Vigorous Crux, Fine Vigorous Crux, Fine Relentless Neviat, and Fine Relentless Neviat. So the reason why you want to have these two is because it's going to help you with your orbs, your motes. Your motes will give more healing. It'll stack up to 2 times with your recover HP gems. So if you have 2 of these, it's going to increase its healing. The recovery mode will increase its healing by, I think it's 30% or something. And then you'll have these 2 just for more health on yourself. And then for your rings, you want to have the Swift Virsk for the increased attack speed, and then another one, and then you want to have Securing Virsk, which increases your healing. So you want to have 2 of each. You want to have 2 healing and 2, oh, I forgot to put this on. You want to have 2 healing and 2 attack speed. So that way you have 5% more healing and then 2% more attack speed. It's kind of a good balance between the 2. If you want to have more attack speed, then go ahead and put more. If you want to have more healing, then you can get that 10%. Now we're going to go ahead and go over the skills. So for your abilities, you want to make sure with the Mystic, you can go with 3 slots. So if you're trying to go with 3 slots, you're going to go to Show Extra Shortcut Tray and then turn it on. When you turn it on, you'll get your 3rd slot. You'll get the 3rd ability slot. If you have it off, then you're not going to have that third slot, but L2 would be a active ability slot, I guess. So you're going to go ahead and go to skills. So with my loadout, I have Sharon Bolt on it. I have Ancient Binding, Titanic Favor, Shara's Lash, Metamorphic Blast, Orun's Cleansing Touch, Resurrect, Summon Group, Vow of Rebirth, Aura of Merciless, Aura of Swift, Aura of Unyielding, and Aura of Tenacious, Teleport Jaunt, Orun's Vitae, or Vitae, not Retaliate, Orun's Tears, not Metamorphic Smite, Volley of Curses, Thrall of Protection, Thrall of Life, and then Sonorous Dreams, Regression, Thrall of Vengeance, Thrall of Wrath, and Warding Totem, and Boomerang Pulse, and that's it. So for those abilities that I just named, the way I have them all set up, I have it like this. So just up close and personal, I have my Sharon's Blast, or whatever that one's called, on L2 R1, Regression on L2 R2. So pretty much all of my support, my healing type ones, I have it on the right side, so R1 and R2, Titanic Favor and the Boomerang Pulse. These are my two big healing abilities. So I wanted to have these two on the first slots so I don't have to worry about pressing any of the buttons. And then Orun's Cleansing, and then the Totem, I have this on L1 R1 and L1 R2 because again that's how I have my healing ability set up. And then Regression is on L2 R2. So Regression isn't necessarily going to be super important, but it's going to be very useful, and it will be important if you do Vault of Caprima and possibly some other bosses, because in Vault of Caprima you have to use regression on the boss, or basically debuff the boss when he's buffing himself, take off his armor. And the reason why I have Sharon's Bolt is just so I can have extra damage, especially if I play solo. It's going to be nice to have. And then I have the Orun's Vitae, or the healing mote, the red mote. I have this one on circle because again it's easier to spam without having to press other buttons, so I just keep tapping circle or holding circle. And then I have a debuff ability, so this one you want to make sure you have. So with that ability, the poison ability, forgot exactly what it's called, so Volley of Curse, you want to make sure you have at least have Enfeebling Volley of Curses, because what this does is it decreases the target's endurance by 9% for 21 seconds. So you're basically just decreasing the boss's or the enemy's armor by 9%, or their health, making it easier for everyone else, especially the DPS's, to do more damage to them. And then for Orun's Vitae, you want to make sure you do have the Restorative Orun's Vitae. Immediately recovers 20% of total HP. This will recover 20% of your own health. So whenever you use this, I mean, you're going to be able to heal yourself very, very easily. And it's every 5 seconds too. Teleport Jaunt, you want to have this, even though it reduces your cooldown by 1.5% or 1.5 seconds, you're going to be able to teleport a lot more often, a lot faster too. And then the reason why I have these 4 auras is because you never know when you get grouped up with another mystic. Plus you have 3 slots, so if you won't have to go into your abilities and then just press whatever, you'll have all 4 of these slots on your, all 4 of these abilities on your slots. Vow of Rebirth, you want to go with the Altruistic Vow of Rebirth, Long Shot Vow of Rebirth, Energetic Vow of Rebirth, and Multiplicative Vow of Rebirth. If you can get this one, I haven't gotten it yet, but if you can get it, then get that or use it. The reason why you want to use Vow of Rebirth is because it's going to let you self-revive, or have your allies self-revive themselves without having to pay gold. And if they're unscaled, then they'll be able to use this without having to wait for you to come and revive them. So having Energetic Vow of Rebirth is going to be super good because you don't have to wait 15 minutes for it. Long Shot, I use this because sometimes they'll be a little too far. You have to be right up on them if you don't have this, so that way you can apply it. And then this is going to be the most important one, most important glyph, especially if you're playing on skilled, because this is going to give you a self-revive as well. So you definitely want to have this. And then the reason why I put summon group on my loadout is because I mean, I just put it on there just because. You don't have to, that was just a filler. Resurrect is going to be another really good one to have, because like I said, if you're unskilled, your allies cannot revive themselves, and if you're not unskilled, if they're not unskilled, maybe they don't have the 30 gold, or maybe they just don't want to spend the 30 gold, so you're gonna need to use resurrect on them. So the glyphs you want to use is energetic resurrect, so you get a 10-second cooldown instead of 20 seconds. Hasten resurrect, so you're resurrecting them really fast. It's probably a lot faster than even the speedy resurrect scrolls. And then hardy resurrect, so with this you're basically giving them full health and full mana right off the bat. The scrolls, regular scrolls, will not do that for you, so if you can, try to use this more than you would with regular scrolls. Cleansing touch, like I said, is going to be a very useful ability, because this ability is going to cleanse not just you but your allies from any status effects except for sleep. And then with obviously Titanic Favor, this is going to be your main ability. This main ability is going to heal others a lot. Like, I think the highest I've been able to heal was up to 76k to 83k, but you will not be able to heal yourself with this, unfortunately, but you can heal others, and this is going to be the ability you're pretty much going to be spamming. And then for Boomerang Pulse, I normally only use Boomerang Pulse on the tank. Sometimes I'll use it on allies, but the reason why I use it on tanks is because they're already there right in front of the boss. You can use it on everyone if everyone's pretty much lined up or kind of clumped in together. It makes it easier for you to use this. And then Warding Totem, I use Warding Totem anytime it's active. I just use it because you get healing over time, so might as well. It's not going to be like the best healing, but it does do something and it does help. And then for Thrall of Wrath, the reason why I use Thrall of Wrath is because, I mean, it's a giant Wrath or Thrall that does a lot of DPS. Unfortunately, I don't use the Empowered Thrall, which gives it 25% more damage. The only glyph I use on it is the Energetic Thrall of Wrath, because it reduces its cooldown by 50%. Thrall of Vengeance, I don't use any glyphs on it. I just use this for a little bit of extra DPS. I'm not using it, I'm not focusing on my thralls, so that's why I don't worry about that. And then for Regression, I've already gone over that. And Thrall of Life, I put both glyphs into these because, one, if you have the reduced cooldown on it, you're getting burst heals from your thrall. It only goes to yourself, it doesn't go towards allies. But you use this and it gives you healing over time, and then it increases the duration of it, so that means you're getting healed for a little bit longer of time. Thrall of Protection, the only glyph you need to worry about is the United Thrall of Protection. Do not worry about any of these other ones. Don't even worry about the healing or the defense or the damage, because you're not going to need those, especially if you're in a group. You have a tank in a group for a reason. You want to have this one, this glyph, United Thrall of Protection, because it increases everyone, including yours, your endurance by 10% for 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes, that's a long time, and it's a 5-second cooldown. And it does last, this glyph does last even after your thrall dies. So you want to pop this right before you go into a dungeon, or right before you encounter any enemies or a boss, and your tank should normally be able to hold aggro without, even with the Thrall of Protection up. So this is going to be, in my opinion, a very useful one to use. And then Volley of Curses, I'm pretty sure I've already gone over this. You want to use this so you can decrease the boss's endurance. So the way, like I said, the way I have them all set up, you can go ahead and take a screenshot, because I don't necessarily remember all the names of these, but this is just how I have it all set up. These are just little buffs. So these two are my thralls, and then Thrall of Wrath, and then this one right here is Vow of Endurance, Vow of Rebirth. So I can just apply it, because I don't need to use, these are the abilities I don't use as often, pretty much. And these are my auras up here, and then these right here are just extra DPS or CC effects. And then this one right here is going to be the debuff on the boss, and then you have this just so you can spam it without having to press other buttons. And then you have your healing, and then cleansing, and then just a basic attack and regression. I don't use regression as much, but when I need to, it's right there. It's quick and easy to use. And then I have my brooch set up right here as well on L1 R3, because with the brooch you can activate. This is for the 317 brooches though, but with the 317 brooch you're going to have this active on you, and it gives you the crit chance, or the crit factor, increased crit factor. And then you want to have one of the prime solutions, either the prime solutions or the nostrum on L2 R3, so you can just click it right there, or you can have it on one of your UI HUDs, but I don't put it there. And then you want to have the revive right here, or you can put the revive anywhere, just as long as you. I don't use revive as much until someone's down, obviously. Both potions and another healing ability right there. And then I put my teleport ability on L3 just because I'm used to using L3 as like a dash ability anyways. So there's that. So that's pretty much it with the Mystic build. I know this is a pretty long video. I wanted to make it as well detailed and informative and in-depth as possible and not miss much. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show some gameplay as well, and that's pretty much it. This is all day in day one on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.